Hey guys, Luke with S&S Motorsport. Quick public service announcement for the Ford guys. Try to keep you guys from buying defective parts and bait and switch that some of the other manufacturers are doing. So a lot of guys know about the CP4 disaster prevention kit that protects the rest of your fuel system if your CP4 fails. It's been a wildly popular product, very effective, works. The S&S diesel version does anyways. The downside of that is we've created a lot of market and a lot of demand for that. Other companies are seeing what sells, run reports on Amazon, and then they just say, okay, well, we're gonna buy one of those and then clone it. So you'll see alternatives online that are cheaper, look identical, from a glance anyways. We did a video a while back called You Get What You Pay For. We had bought a couple of those to see what they were. There's a lot of flaws to some of those. You check out that video for more details. We've got a more recent one. There are legitimate S&S ones sold on Amazon. You can also go to our dealer locator and go to any of those guys on our dealer locator to get the good stuff. There's one that's using our exact picture from our website, that product image, and trying to sell a clone knockoff of it, but with our picture. We're working on trying to take that down. In the meantime, we bought one of them to use as evidence, and want to show you guys what you get if you buy one of the legitimate ones versus one of the ones that's trying to trick you. These are 400. These are anywhere from 350 to 100, depending on the day and how desperate they are to try to steal sales. Some guys might think the 400 one, well, that's too expensive. That's just a greedy business owner like me trying to take money. In fact, it's a business trying to produce a superior product and create jobs in the US and lots of manufacturing, and that's what this product's doing. So let's look at what you get if you buy the one that uses our picture to try to trick you. Here's the S&S version. A lot of you guys might have seen this already. It's 50 state emissions compliant. It's US manufacturing, assembled right here in Southern Indiana. Full color instructions, all the hardware you need to install it, and as high quality as we can possibly make it. Here's the version that you can also get online. So packaging leaves a bit to be desired. At a glance, it might look similar. There are no instructions. They're probably assuming you're just gonna go to our website and use our instructions instead. So similar looking filter head, they just took our logo off the top. However, a lot of the manufacturing and machining is pretty poor. You're going to introduce some debris and issues there, might have sealing problems. This hose is extremely cheap. If you wonder how this product is so much cheaper than ours, it's pretty much every component in it is saving money, and not places you want to save money at. So this is some of that just shiny, slick, chintzy vinyl type tubing. It doesn't have any identification on it at all. Ours has got pressure rating, fuel compatibilities, all that kind of stuff printed on it. I wouldn't even use this for air hose, let alone fuel that's pressurized. This goes straight from your factory fuel filter into the valley on your truck to the high pressure pump, which sits in the valley right by the exhaust manifolds. This is very likely to leak either right off the bat or eventually. And you definitely don't want it to leak eventually because it's going to be a huge fire hazard. So these are what looks to be OE style quick connects like what we use, but they are very likely, based on plastic debris and stuff in them, knockoffs as well. Some of the other ones we had looked at, they're using worm clamps and pipe thread to plug this stuff. We won't use pipe thread on anything. The reason you don't want to use pipe thread is because by design it is moving metal basically to bite and try to seal. That's the last thing you want in a fuel system right before the high pressure pump is threaded joints, as well as pipe thread joints are terrible design. So they at least maybe watched our last videos and went to a Autiker style clamp. All of these aren't legit, they're a cheap knockoff, and then a ball press like what we do. But for whatever reason, they're not using a stainless ball like we do, because it's rusting and there's corrosion actually inside of this thing that you're getting ready to put right onto your brand new pump. So this is actually impressive. The burrs that are right here, and then also the corrosion that's right there. It's also using a cheap brass tee. We use a billet, actually they're manufactured custom for this kit, a billet aluminum tee that's well designed, well validated, and gonna hold. brass is not actually compatible with biodiesels especially for long periods of time. So while this might be readily available and cheap, you're going to have issues with that longer term. Hardware kit, same parts as ours, just some cheap version of it. May or may not have issues with. The filter is an important part. Here's a filter like what comes in the S&S kit. That's a legitimate Donaldson filter, well validated, tested, and proper manufacturing. This looks similar, right? Same footprint, same part number, same text color, but it's a lot different. For one, you can tell if you look subtly at these, they often aren't brave enough to actually put the company that they're trying to copy's name on it. That's why they only use the picture of our logo on our parts. The parts themselves don't have our logos on them. Same for the Donaldson. They are using a clone of everything except for leaving the name and leaving a lot of important details off. This is pretty clearly a fuel filter. It's for a fuel kit. It says fuel filter right here. When they were copying the text, they apparently didn't realize that and actually have lube filter printed on the canister, which is hilariously amazing. So if a company's not going to take the time to even attention to detail on the print that's even on the filter, you think the rest of it's any good? I highly doubt it. Also, there's not even a seal inside of here, so there's a canister that sits inside of this outer can. That has to have a seal on the top when you clamp this whole thing together that seals the dirty side from the clean side. We've seen this on other cheap Chinese knockoff filters where there's actually not even a seal in the top plate of this thing. So pretty much your dirty and clean sides can crosstalk and the filter's not doing a whole heck of a lot. Every penny that they can pinch is worth it because that's the only way that they can get the thing down to a ridiculously cheap price to try to get guys to bite on it. And that's not what you want for your fuel system. There's plenty of places you could try to save money on. The fuel system on a modern diesel, especially a Ford or anything with a CP4, is sensitive and expensive, so don't cheap out on it. All right, so we noticed one more thing after shooting the original video that is also hilarious and terrifying at the same time. Happened to be handling this and noticed the bypass block actually just spins out of here. It seems like it's just spinning out of the hose, but actually they didn't want to start with a piece of aluminum tall enough to make the barb, trying to pinch pennies on that. So they start with a smaller raw block and then just tap this and have a threaded fitting or barb that goes into here and then screw this in. There's an O-ring sitting down in there that they're hoping seals from here to here. That might just push the O-ring straight out of that little pocket into the pump instead. But this is a new one. Of all the Chinese knockoff stuff, this is a new one that's hilarious, but also frustrating because they're trying to trick you to buy this kit and you're gonna get garbage like this that's likely gonna just leak right here and spray fuel all over your exhaust manifold. So beware, this is a new one, but this was hilarious and pretty impressive. So be careful. If it looks too good to be true, probably is. Check our dealer locator or buy the legit S&S branded one online.